and welcome. I'm Adam Peter, Technical Marketing Manager for the Autodesk Tandem team, and I'm here today with Emory Burch, Senior VDC Manager for Aptitude. Emory, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
So, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Aptitude is a low voltage integrations group. When it comes to low voltage systems, there's usually a huge scope gap. But let's just take a floor box, for instance, in a conference room. Well, those are going to be dictated by the electrical engineer that there needs to be a floor box there. But if it requires telecom, if it requires audio visual, then there's got to be a coordination there with the low voltage engineers. We're looking for those scope gaps and to make sure that everything's covered. Is there a conduit that goes there? How many cables need to come to that box? And that's just one example.
It sounds like there are quite a few pain points for you from a coordination standpoint. Is that right?
We're definitely in the growing pains. Our mothership, JE Dunn, has gone to the full ACC platform for all their projects. So it's definitely helped make it conducive for us to use products like Tandem that can tie into live cloud models. I mean, right now, the model is the single source of truth. But there's definitely a large percentage that still lives in silos that we're constantly trying to gain more and more of that into that single source.
Who's the downstream owner once the owner takes possession of the building? Who's using that data on their side?
We're going to work hand in hand with the IT groups and the building maintenance teams, typically during the commissioning process. And let's just take a system like access controls, when we're going to have to be involved with owners training and kind of teach them how to use their systems.
Yeah, so access control is kind of a tangible thing that we can sort of zero in on a little bit. So that's like building entrance, security, that sort of information,
exactly.
right? So with that, you're tracking when doors open, when doors closed, when things are turned on and off.
And loaded into whatever access control system that is. There's definitely a lot of integrations with that on the hardware side and on the digital side.
What made digital twins attractive to Aptitude when you start thinking about not just the model, but the other information that would maybe need to go into it?
I like this question because it really hits the core of Aptitude and where we can really take off in the digital twin market. It's kind of the iceberg analogy. You got to have the project managers, the estimators, the people that can procure the right devices for what they're trying to track.
Yeah, and are those conversations are happening pretty early in the process?
It's across the board right now. You're going to start the first one with design, and the last one is going to be, building turnover to the owner, and that's where you're going to give that digital twin to them. I hate to say it, but it's kind of a nightmare pulling all that together in general. I mean, because you're dealing with design models, construction models through the VDC process. But if you put a clean model in the Tandem with established parameters and everything else, then Tandem's like, hey, we can give you a digital twin in 1 month as opposed to 6 months.
What's your quickest win or the lowest hanging fruit that you're seeing benefits from in having a digital twin?
I'll talk about our, we like to call it our showroom model, which is our JE Dunn Atlanta model, which is where Aptitude is technically headquartered under JE Dunn. One of the first things that we did in there was Desk-Occupancy. So we literally have like a passive infrared sensor that sits under everybody's desk, and then they can start seeing, well, you guys are only in the office 30% of the time or whatnot. Can we move some of you guys here, or can this department hire more people? Or so just, that right off the bat was a low-hanging fruit that actually gave us, some benefits and visibility.
Let's talk about the ability for you to connect information to your Tandem models. Tell me a little bit about that process, what you were looking to achieve.
So our first test was literally just a Google sheet that before we actually got the real desk occupancy sensors going through to the AWS platform and pulling that into Tandem. Our first test was literally going into a Google sheet and just kind of mimicking those sensors, and just every row was a person's desk, and then we had a column for are they here? Yes or no, 1, 0 or whatnot. And we were just sitting there literally manually typing a 1 or a 0 or yes or no. Then yeah, now we've kind of gotten into things with we've got some CT, some current transformers on different circuits and whatnot.
Tandem Connect, for example, is an opportunity for you to connect to other systems who maybe don't have a lot of programming experience with APIs and things like that.
So I'm a big Dynamo user and whatnot in Revit. I'd like to automate whatever I can. That visual style programming that Tandem offers with that is definitely very attractive. When I saw Tandem had that same kind of interface with the visual nodes and whatnot, it definitely excited me, especially when you take this and scale it to, let's just say, like a 50-story high-rise. You don't necessarily have time to go navigate in the model to every electrical panel or every VAV unit or whatnot and see what the status is. So, like you said, the analytics when it comes to dashboards and whatnot, I think that's going to be kind of your day in, day out, where you're just going to kind of want to get a quick glance and look for any alerts, look for any things that are not trending the way that you would expect.
Where do you sort of anticipate the next area of focus for you as you continue to work on that office in Atlanta and for other opportunities?
Looking at what services and kind of the magnitude of services we'd like to start offering with digital twins. I like to say the Atlanta office is kind of like the Cadillac digital twin to bring people in, and anything and everything that they possibly want in their building, we'll try to offer a real live demo of it that they can go and see that actual infrastructure that we talked about, and then the actual digital twin itself.
It gives you more real world experiences that you can share with your customers and offer as a service.
More or less like reading the gauges in your car, just kind of getting the feel of what's going on, making sure it's okay, no lights on, and that's the kind of visibility, just kind of that quick access that we want to offer to owners. And all that goes into, you hear about lean and green certifications and whatnot, and the best way to do that is through a digital twin. I mean, what better visibility can you prove that your building is as green as it is with a digital twin?
Yeah. Well, Emory, I sure appreciate your time with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing good things from you in the future.
Definitely. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.